Yeah, the other day I was rummaging through my um, videos and memories, going down memory lane looking for just interesting things about my stay in India. I'm kind of reminiscing. I spent maybe 25 years in India over the years. And I came across a very interesting um, video of a very rare and unusual event, something that I really couldn't share with you without explaining it to you, because it's just too weird. For Western people, they would just have no understanding or idea of what was actually going on there, even though there's something extremely beautiful and important spiritually and powerful that should awaken the feelings of intense bhakti or devotion for God in you. At least give you knowledge that there is such, that you'll understand why India is so great. If you've been interested in India, why it's really the world's spiritual superpower. So in any case, I lived there. I had a small little apartment there in Tiruvannamalai, and that was my habit to go around the mountain more or less daily. It was about 10 miles, but I was actually training to get myself in shape to walk around another great monument up in Tibet called Lake Manasarola. And but I didn't ever made it to that pilgrimage, but I was getting fit and prepared anyway. And so you walked, there were two paths. One was the inner path right close to the mountain, and the other was the outer path, which was a little bit farther away from the mountain. And I was walking on the outer path, and I came across this sign, and it said, the sign, it showed a picture here of this Ammaji, this woman who was a saint, and it said a great miracle in Tiruvannamalai, and then said the mantra Om appears shining on Om Amma's forehead. She's called Om Amma. Now, Om Amma's forehead. This mantra has never before been seen on any sage. I thought, oh, well, that's good. Let's just see what she's talking about here. So I continued walking on a little while, and I came across this scene. In this scene, and I hope so happened I had my video camera with it, so I just set it there, and watched the scene with great curiosity. Here you'll see here, they've just brought the sage out of her little house there, so that she can be worshipped by the locals. The Indian women are local village women. They're not high caste women. They're from the lower caste. And you've got a smattering, actually quite a few foreigners who are there attending this puja. Puja means worship of the self in the form of the deity. And you'll see here, this man on the left, he's her attendant or assistant. He looks after her because she's not in her body. She doesn't take care of anything. She doesn't eat on her own or do any of the bodily functions on her own. That's all done by the grace of this gentleman sannyasi on the left. And you can see here now that he's offering flowers to her, because she's a representation of the deity, and she's experiencing God inside herself. In this, everybody's wrapped in attention. This one gentleman, perhaps it was a little too strange for him, so he left. He couldn't understand what was happening. But again, another devotee comes and takes that up, that other garland off her. Probably it was too heavy or uncomfortable and would interfere with the worship. And now you're going to see in a minute here coming up. Did you see her hand is shaking? She's not actually shaking her hand. That shaking is done by the bhakti. Bhakti being Shakti. In other words, Bhakti is a special kind of devotional Shakti that what? That takes you over. And now she sees she's sitting up and kind of rocking back and forth like as if she was in a swing like Krishna. Maybe Krishna was her Ishta or Devata, her personal deity. Maybe that's what she's visualizing inside. We can't tell. And now they're offering her back and forth. She's swaying back and forth as if she's on a string, taking the flowers. She's bathing her body with flowers. Flowers are a symbol of what? Fragrance of the self. It's a symbol of the nectar of the immortality of the self, in essence. Now you see here, look at her eyes. You see her eyes, they're up in the top of her head. And she's not making her eyes go up. It's very interesting. She's not like some yogis, put this big show on. You can see that they're actually controlling to keep their eyes up so that it looks like they're in some kind of state. See, look at this. These are all involuntary actions that are coming because of the bhakti of the Shakti. She's excited because she's getting what? She's seeing God inside herself, and it's exciting her love for God, and it's making her body shake. They're called kriyas. In the yoga science, it's called kriyas. See, it's a beautiful, it's an amazing thing. And you see, there's no sense of agency here. Yeah, the devotees are picking up the flowers and putting them back and just letting her worship and worship and worship over and over and over again. She has no idea that she's doing this outer stuff. And then suddenly that burst of Shakti goes down, and see how intense the feeling is. And you could see the bliss. You could actually see the bliss in her face. Never mind the fact that she looks weird with her eyes like that. Here they're offering incense to her, burning, meaning what? That's called arati. That's a ritual called arati. It means showing the light or showing the fire to the deity. See her hands shake? And her body twitching, etc., etc., etc. It goes on. There's no need to explain any more about it. It's actually quite a long ritual. And we can't see the rest of the audience, but most of them are transfixed and excited by this display. And this happens every day there in Tiruvannamalai. Now she's blessing the people. Now the next stage of the ritual is she's honored herself inside. Now she's what? She's blessing, giving the blessings, giving to the deity. You see how happy everybody is now? I'm sure her deity is Krishna. It's a very playful ritual. A beautiful young girl on the right. She doesn't see anybody outside, but she knows they're out there. And so she's just throwing it anywhere, according to how it feels. The beauty of Indian spirituality is it's playful. There's a lot of very serious, like yogic kind of things, but this just shows you how incredibly playful and joyful the spiritual world is there. You see, when she holds her hand like that, she's saying that this is inside, it's the light inside. The mudra spontaneously happens. That's the three bodies in the self. The self is again garlanded again. That comes from the old days when the yogis who practiced this kind of meditation developed a tremendous amount of heat or energy, shakti, or it's called tapas. And villagers used to put flowers around them because flowers were cooling, and it would drain the heat from their bodies. And yeah, how happy she is. Now her eyes are back, sort of. This bhakti shakti is just, now the devotee's asking her, talking something to her, asking her for something or telling her something. She had to get right up close to talk. Here's another one. These are simple village women. Although the woman on the left with the green sari, she's a middle class woman. Now they're getting their personal darshan connection. When you get around those people, you're in their aura. There's an aura. A woman's fanning her. You see she's hot from that. So flowers do the same thing. When you get in right close to them, you feel it. Your mind gets full of peace and quiet and bliss and love. It's a very powerful experience. And the children, now see that children are all, they want to get their darshan too. It's a great culture because, the parents educate the children about the value of the sages and the saints in India. And they keep that tradition alive. Even now, though India's become quite a world power and material power, that these rituals and traditions are still happening throughout the land. Yeah, she's a Krishna Bhakta. That's the rocking. That symbolizes the swing. It means the play of consciousness. The existence of consciousness is a play created by God for our pleasure or enjoyment. The Western felt so slightly self-conscious about it. Now more and more. First the Indians and then the Westerners. Some of them will sit there for many hours. There's a sage further down in South India, down in Kerala. This is in Tamil Nadu. And she will sit in one spot for 1 day or 12 hours, whatever it is, long lines of people, thousands of people, and she'll hug 4, 5, 6,000 people in 1 day. She's just full of this Shakti, and she just sits in the same spot for hours and hours and hours. All the energies, all the external energies have been drawn inward, and it's all happening automatically from within. So there's no real sense of agency. So they never get tired. These people don't get tired because they're not people really. These people are not crazy. That's the interesting thing about it.